Hey guys, welcome to Flashbacks. I'm Alex. I'm here once again with,
Brady, as always.
and this is Flashbacks, a Flash rewatch podcast. And I'm going to start saying this at the beginning of every episode so people know, just in case you don't. We review every single episode of the Flash CW show. And this time we're reviewing stuff in the CW verse. Like it's part two of the crossover we started last time. It's weird that they use legends in this, but it's legends of yesterday. Last time it was legends of
Yeah.
today, or what's the other thing they call it? Heroes join forces,
Yeah,
isn't that what
heroes
it's
join
called?
forces as Lance of Always Hold On to Arrow was telling us in the last episode, which is the dumbest fucking title ever, by the way.
I thought so. This is Arrow season 4, episode 8, and so I thought about like using that, by the way, like a peek behind the curtain as like a thumbnail, like for whenever I posted for the first part. But I'm like, no one's gonna know what the fuck that is. Like whenever
Nah.
it's that, because
Nope.
I did. I was like, what the hell is this?
I didn't even know that was a thing until Lance brought it up. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, I don't even remember it either. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get into this episode. So fresh off the last episode, we open on ancient Egypt, the Middle Kingdom with red skies and thunder rumbling. It's the past. We cut to inside the palace as Prince Khufu. Is it Khufu or
Kofu. I
Kofu?
thought it was
Kofu.
Kofu.
I think they say it differently,
Yeah.
depending on who says it. It's like a Ray Shiraz
It's like,
thing, maybe.
yeah, I was gonna say that, or like Falcone and Falcone.
That's
Like,
just because Nolan doesn't know how to say.
Christopher Nolan didn't know how to do a lot of things with Batman, but that's a different conversation for a
Hey,
different day, my
let's.
man.
Hey, we're gonna have some hot takes on this anyway.
Oh
Let's
yeah, me
let's
in
save it.
particular. Yeah, you guys are in for one hell of an episode this time.
Yeah. But so anyway, Prince Kofu comes into his father's throne room wearing a Hawkman-like headdress and golden wings that he immediately takes off. I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, that was fun. I like that.
They used to do this a lot, right? When they would have like a character, and like the DC extended universe did this a little bit too, where they're like, and also like the Luke Cage show where they're like, we're gonna do like a comic book kind of accurate look, but we're not gonna put effort into making it look really great, and then they're gonna
Yeah.
immediately take that shit off. Like I've noticed
Yeah.
that's a trend with these
I
things.
I think there's a clip of it I saw from Iron Fist, I think, where he like puts the mask on and he's like, it's kind of lame, and he just doesn't use it. I personally have never seen anything outside of Daredevil and Jessica Jones from those shows, so I
Luke
don't know if
Cage
I made that up.
Luke Cage, the first season, and I haven't seen the later stuff, but the first season of Luke Cage is really good.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to watch it. That character is pretty good in Jessica Jones. I only
Yeah.
saw one season of that. I saw all of Daredevil, but I mean, who hasn't?
Actually, yeah, speaking of like pioneering the whole like comic book accurate look before you see them in a different look, Smallville actually had a moment where
Here we
it
go
was,
again.
yeah, it was like a costume party, and it was before you saw Oliver Queen in his like Smallville gear, where you saw him and he had like the domino like green mask and
Whoa.
like the hat, like the green hat and
Oh, the
everything.
stupid ass like Robin Hood
Yeah,
hat.
and like the whole little Stitch thing too.
Oh,
Like I was actually like, you know what? Respect, because that's kind of cool. You get to see that version of him. He is like underrated. I might watch some Green Arrow like that version, or as our guys from Always On the Arrow call him Slow Arrow, because apparently he like shoots the arrows really slow in that original
oh.
show compared to the
I
new one.
I like the costume, like the
Yeah,
clips I've seen, so I might have to go look it up. But if I want more Green Arrow content, I'm just gonna watch Young Justice or Justice League. They have a really good Green Arrow episode in Young Justice. Well,
yeah,
it's not even Oliver, but still.
yeah. But so he's there to give tribute to Horus. It's a feast that his servants bring in that his father says is worthy of a god, and the god is obviously Horus. But Priestess Shaira is unimpressed, calling it naive. She says they've been getting meteor showers due to Horus being upset due to his lackluster tributes. He says it's her job to keep him happy. I thought that was kind of funny. Then Vandal Savage rocks up and says she only speaks out of concern for everyone. This creepy motherfucker, dude. I liked his hair better in this. Like in the
Yeah.
flashback, like the longer hair looks better than that greasy short hair they have
Oh
him wearing
yeah.
most of the
It
time.
yeah, that's what I was thinking too when I was watching this. It looks way like better. I also want to say, maybe indicative of my opinion, I remembered taking notes for this episode, or I thought I did. Turns out that's next Flash episode that I took notes for. I didn't have anything to say about this one apparently.
Remember back in the day, Will watched the wrong episode one time,
I
and
think
we
I just listened to that episode.
yeah, where he had watched the wrong one and we just recorded anyway. Yeah, so I
Yeah.
mean, like, it's not unheard of. It's okay.
Yeah.
That's why I take such thorough notes. Not for that reason, but I'm like, I got us covered regardless, basically.
Yeah. Like I do want to start taking notes like that eventually, and then maybe like we were talking about privately, we can just like trade off who
Yeah,
says
yeah.
what, but I don't have time for that right now.
I hear you. I mean, like, eventually I might, like, peek behind the curtain, guys. I might try to streamline these more. This one, I just took more thorough notes just because of how the plot is in this episode. You kind of gotta. But,
Yeah,
yeah. Anyway, let's keep going. I got a
before
lot.
I go too far.
Yeah. Well, there'll be time later for like the opinions, but he tells King Ramses of bad times coming, and I'm inclined to agree with him if the red skies of death weren't obvious enough of bad times coming. Like literally, like you see outside, it's like it
It's like,
reminds me. Do you remember the Crisis thing with Knox where he? No, it's not Knox. It's Burt Ward,
yes, I
where
saw that.
he goes, "Holy red skies of
Holy
death," and
red skies of death.
that's what it gave me vibes of. I was like, Jesus, yeah, like it's the end times. Look outside.
I didn't remember that until just now, but every time I see red skies, I think of BTAS, like, 'cause their
Actually,
Gotham was always red sky.
the speaking of Burt Ward, I actually recently finally watched because I only complete 60 series of Batman, and I
Oh,
recently
nice.
put on the surfing episode with
Oh,
Batman and
God.
Joker. And
God.
I'm gonna say this. One of the best parts of it was like seeing Commissioner Gordon and what's his like little buddy's name?
Chief O'Hara.
Chief O'Hara.
Oi, Bagora.
Yeah, trying to like pose as like surfers basically in order to like blend in so they could spy on Joker. I'll have to send you a picture later. The other
Oh,
exciting
shit.
thing was seeing Batgirl who like for like the 70s or not 70 for the 60s was in kind of a scandalous like bathing suit basically is all I'll say.
I may or may not have seen a picture of that. I actually can't remember if I did. I
That
know
was
I've
one of the most
seen.
memorable points of that for me because I think Batgirl's really good
Oh,
looking
yeah?
in
Was
there
it?
anyway, yeah. That's
It
a
was
no. The
now.
other thing though, what the funny thing was like, obviously as the bat repellent spray.
Yeah, the
So
shark
like,
repellent.
yeah, it's shark repellent. So he brings that out because like a shark starts circling him when he's surfing. You
Fuck.
just see him spray like that, but you don't see the shark like swim away. You just see stock footage, and then like an announcer goes off screen like, "Oh, the shark swam away, and he got extra points for making sure the waters were safe."
I need to watch more of that goddamn show. I've seen like the movie. That was my favorite Batman movie for the
hmm
longest time, was the 1966 movie. It is still really good, but I have not sat down and I think I've seen like 2 seasons of the Adam West show. I haven't
Yeah.
seen all of it. I don't think I
Yeah,
ever
me
got
either.
to Batgirl.
But that one's great. Like, also, yeah, like obviously, kind of like Patty in this show, I kind of have a crush on Batgirl in that. So,
You're
whatever.
like me with Hawkgirl from Superman.
Hawkgirl in this is actually like
She
pretty
is,
great too,
yeah,
like
she's pretty.
underrated. Yeah. But so Kofu and Shaira meet in the hallway and he mentions she spoke with quite the tongue and she asks if she overreacted and he says in truly one of the worst lines I've heard so far from this show, "No, I love your tongue." I was like, ugh, like I was like gross.
Get that cringe ass shit out of here. Honestly, not to go too far into my own opinion on this episode, this guy might be the worst fucking actor in the entire Arrowverse. Like, just everything he said, I was like, dude, shut the fuck up.
Oh man, I'm not gonna try to be mean, but we definitely have worse in the in the future, is all I'm gonna say.
True, I've seen clips of people in the future Impulse and oh God.
Hey, let's
Hey,
hold
I
on.
like that actor.
So,
He's just I grew up watching that actor on Disney Channel, if that speaks anything to his
oh,
ability.
okay, yeah, I have seen that then.
He's
I
not
mean, he's
that
fine.
bad. He's not that bad, but Flash is definitely not his best work. But we'll get into that when we get to those episodes.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, I know what you're talking about though. But so
Yeah.
Savage sees them making out and looks on jealously. So we cut to modern day as it's revealed that this was a memory flash of Kendra's. Kofu checks on her in the back seat as Diggle and Caitlin drive them around in what appears to be an Argus van. She plays it off, saying she has a headache. Kofu says that's a sign of her memory returning. And then she lies and says she can't remember anything yet. They get out of the car and it's revealed that Thea and Oliver were in the car in front of them. Thea makes an Age of Ultron reference here. She's like, because they pull up to a farmhouse, like a bunch of
Huh.
superheroes in a farmhouse. Felt like I've seen that in a movie before. I was like, oh.
Oh.
Yeah, I was
I
like, oh
took
my
that
God.
as a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reference.
No, it was definitely like a Ultron thing because this was near the time that that
Okay.
movie had come out.
Okay. It's been a while since I seen Age of Ultron, but I
Especially
watched.
with the look of the farmhouse and everything and
Yeah,
how they're dressed too, kind of.
yeah, but I that was just a thing in my head because I went back and read some of the Mirage Turtles comics and I watched the 1990s movie, so it
They're
was just
having
like,
a
oh, Farmhouse.
yeah, not to take us off track again, but they're having like they're showing that in theaters again, is what I've heard.
Yeah, I don't think they're showing it at the one close to my house, otherwise I would go watch it.
Yeah, that's a great movie. But so they need a secure location, Oliver says, and Caitlin asks what's wrong with Star Labs. Oliver says one of the funniest lines in the episode. Well, nothing. If you forget about the revolving door you guys installed so the bad guys could come and go as they please. Like, I really, I really like this. And then Caitlin fires back. Remind me what happened to your old layer or the one before that. Felicity really ruins the joke by saying the first one was compromised by the police, then says she'll stop helping when Oliver glares at her. It's like because the thing is like it's like she didn't even believe in that line because she's like, "Oh, I'll stop talking." Like it's the effort wasn't there
Yeah,
from her either. It's just like that also kind of killed the momentum. You could have just left
yeah,
it with what Caitlin said.
yeah, I agree. She's definitely better in the other Flash crossovers, like
She was written better in the first part because you had some of the original writers that wrote her in the first
exactly,
part.
because it's on Flash, and we
Yeah.
all know what the better. No, I'm kidding.
A lot of the good writers went to Flash
They
when they
did,
split them up.
and you can really tell. But I forgot what else I was gonna say something to this. But I forgot, so we will just leave that there.
Alright. So all of Team Arrow is there. They only lived because Savage sensed Kendra turning into Shira. They don't want to make it easy for him by staying in city limits. Team Flash arrives and Oliver calls him out for being late and he quips it's hard to find the ass end of nowhere.
I
They
got a kick out of that line.
Yeah, that was good. They start discussing how to take the Staff of Horus, the source of Savage's power, away from him. They theorize they could make some special gauntlets for Barry so he can break through the staff's force field and grab it. While Felicity and Caitlin and Cisco are working on that, Oliver and his team, as well as Barry, need to find out more about Savage. Diggle is going to check with Argus to see if he left a trail, and Laurel and Thea will check police reports. Oliver tells Kendra they need to access her new abilities. It'll give them an advantage. Barry has a funny line saying, "Don't let Oliver train you," mentioning when it rains, he can still feel where he shot him with the arrows. I thought that was a great
Ouch.
line.
Yeah, ouch.
Yeah.
Also, didn't we just do this last episode? Like, didn't she literally jump off a building and like
Well, no,
get
she's
her wings?
training. She's training now. Like
Oh,
it's more
okay.
like training with the thing. Like now that she has
Okay.
access to it, it's just, getting more used to using it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So Kofu says he'll train her instead. Felicity tries to talk to Oliver, but he brushes her off, saying he needs to run something down and will be back as soon as possible. Felicity follows him out and mentions to him he's been off since he got to Central City, and he says there's something going on and he's got to tell her all about it. He just would like the chance to know what he's dealing with first. Kendra gives Cisco the we should talk like we should talk. It's never a good thing to hear, he says, and they shouldn't. Like he's like, I understand there's a lot going on with you and that like she can't afford to be distracted right now, which I really thought was mature of Cisco to be like, look, like you need to figure this out. Like and
Yeah.
also like don't like, if we break up, whatever, but like I want you to focus on this right now. So Kofu dismisses Cisco saying the training is private as he carries a leather box. Uh that sounds really really
Yeah, that
sus.
that
Like
sounded sus as hell. I was gonna move right past that, but
that's funny.
oof.
I mean, there's already kind of like some weirdness with him. Like, anyway,
Yeah.
we're gonna just gonna
Yeah,
keep
just
moving.
move on from that one.
She opens it up by Kofu's request, and apparently it's something they search for in each life. It's a Hawkwoman mask and costume. Kofu gives her more info and explains more of her memories and language will come out over time. She speaks the same language as him when he asks if she understood. He also gives lore dump explaining that she was a priestess, but the clergy were warrior priests. If she can't remember, they'll both probably die again. Cut to a house in Central City. We see William's mother, Samantha, walking him down to the car. Oliver is watching them from his car and gets out to talk to Samantha. Oliver asks her if Williams is his. She says it's not his, and like she said, she lost her baby 10 years ago. She lies saying she met Williams' father 2 months after moving to Central City. They're gonna miss their game, so Oliver lets her go and tells her to wish William good luck for him. She agrees. She also drops a hat that was Williams. It had a strand of his hair that Oliver keeps as he like hands the hat back to her. Like I thought that was kind of clever. Like
Yeah, it
that whole
was
thing.
yeah, that was clever. I didn't expect him to take a hair sample. I thought it was just gonna be like one of those dramatic things where it like lingered on the hat, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Smart though.
this is kind of where my problems start beginning with Oliver.
We'll definitely have a section for that. I'm gonna have like an old section where it's like, all right, let's address it. But
Yeah, because we talked about that privately
yeah.
in DMs. Woof.
Yeah. So he gets a call from Malcolm. He's set up a meeting with Savage, Oliver, and the Flash and Malcolm. It's the only solution, so he doesn't decimate the city. He did it for Thea, saying if he had a child there, he'd understand. I feel like writers always write this, like when like the irony thing of it, be like, "Oh, if you had a child, you'd understand." I'm like, this would be the only time you would realistically say this.
Yeah, it's always weird when they do that. Also, just to clue the audience in on my Arrow knowledge, I'm pretty sure I've only seen up to like season two, two and a half,
You didn't
because
finish season two?
I don't remember Malcolm being Thea's father.
That's like a season three thing, I think.
Okay, then yeah, I never got to that because I also thought Malcolm was dead, but I think I'm thinking of Tommy.
He shouldn't. It's another thing, but like hot take. I do like Malcolm, but it's one of those things where they just don't know when to leave him alone. I think at a certain point, like they should have just killed him off and left him dead. Like I think that
Okay.
I like the actor. Let me just go ahead and say that
Same.
right
He's
now.
the voice of Merlin in the Lego DC Supervillains game.
Yeah, I think he's great. Like I think he did a great job. I think that after a while, with certain exceptions, like in Legends of Tomorrow, he was great. Like I
He's
liked him
in
in there.
Legends?
Yeah, he's in Legends. They have like their own
God damn,
Legion.
I need to watch
They
this.
have their own Legion of Doom in season two, where it's the original Reverse Flash, like the one with like
Oh shit. They
the
got
one with
Matt Lesher back?
yeah. It's got him and I think it's like Malcolm,
They have
Reverse
Grodd.
Flash. No, and it's got Vandal Savage, I think too,
Whoa.
and also fuck Damien Dark, I think is in there
Oh.
too.
Oh. I need to maybe I'll watch Legends tonight.
Yeah, it's great. So Barry's already on his way as he runs through the city. We see another identical Flash appear next to him that he clocks before it runs ahead of him, briefly locking eyes, and our Flash arrives in the empty warehouse that Malcolm called Oliver from. Oliver says they'll use this as a fact-finding mission. Maybe he'll slip up and they can use that to their advantage. Barry asks Malcolm why he knows so much about him, and he says he knows nothing about him, and that's what scares him. Savage appears dramatically and quips that's not the only reason to be afraid of him. Arrow main title with Flash Lightning Bolt. So like a really long intro, man. Like, but obviously really good, you know.
Yeah, for me, after a certain point, and I'll talk about it later, the Williams stuff is kind of where my problem begins with Arrow as a character and Oliver Queen. This is kind of where like the episode just started dragging down in general
Yeah.
for me, was just here.
Yeah, we'll definitely, like I said, like we'll have a section because like it definitely comes to a boiling point, but we'll wait to kind of really get into that because I have my own thoughts too. But
Okay.
yeah, so he explains he needs to kill the Hawks and take their life force to stay alive. He doesn't want to die. Oliver shoots him in the chest and he pulls the bloody arrow out, not flinching, saying that Robin of Locksley taught him how to not feel pain. He says he's the enemy they can't defeat. He says the only way for them and their loved ones and city to make it out of this is they turn over the Hawks to him. They have 24 hours. He threatens Barry as he holds the bloody arrow that he'll do it to him first, and then walks over to Oliver and says the same for him after that. Barry quips, asking if he rehearsed that in the mirror or if it's just off the cuff. I mean, like, fair question. You ever wondered like that? Like, they always have these
Yeah.
dramatic ass like things, and it's like, there's no way you just came up with this off the cuff. Like, it's cut back.
Yeah, yeah. I remembered what I was gonna say earlier.
Yeah.
So when they're in the farmhouse, I screenshotted this from IMDb trivia. The location used as the hideout is the same farm that served as the Kent family farm from Smallville.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot about that. They that was a kind of because later on it makes another appearance, I think, in like is it Elseworlds? It's one of those, and they actually play the Somebody Save Me
I think that's
whenever they show
Crisis.
it.
That was Crisis when they actually had Tom Welling come back.
No, no, no. This is before he came back. Like
Oh shit.
they showed the Smallville farmhouse and they had Tyler Hoechlin and Bitsy Tulloch like on that farm.
Oh, I have seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It was a while ago, but I remember that being like a really big deal. But
Yeah, because I've seen clips of some later on stuff like that, but I don't think I've seen Crisis on Earth X, at least not all parts of it. I
it's
don't
good. But
remember.
yeah, we'll definitely get there at some point in the future. But so he sarcastically laughs and asks why are they protecting two strangers he's killed 206 times and he says they can't stop him from doing it again. He asks them what hubris they have to think they can stop it. Barry corrects them, not hubris, hope, which I actually kind of did appreciate that like he like the Barry's still the optimist. Like he's still got that side to him. Like later on we'll kind of see and it's not like I don't know if it's I do like Grant Gustin as an actor and he's
Oh
even
yeah,
said he's
same.
burnt out a little bit later. Like he just
Oh
kind of
yeah.
seems tired all the
Yeah.
time in the
You
later
can
seasons.
you can kind of tell, like, because I've been getting a lot more clips of the Flash, like later seasons coming up on my like TikTok and Instagram feed. Yeah,
Mm.
you can just tell this man was done with the show by a certain point.
Yeah, he's just like really tired. But so Savage says his curiosity is satisfied and says to send them to Jurgens Industrial, which is a Dan Jurgens reference.
Yes, I was gonna point that out. My freaking goat who wrote Blue and Gold.
Nice. Yeah, he's a great writer slash artist. But he then threatens them again with a vicious alternative. Oliver says no dice, and Malcolm says it's not his decision to make. Malcolm says make sure your stubbornness doesn't get like my daughter killed. He threatens that what he'll do to him will make him beg for someone like Savage and leaves. He recaps the team back at the farmhouse. They have 24 hours to come up with the plan. Oliver does. Kendra says her life isn't worth the lives of millions and storms out. Kofu goes to talk to her, but Cisco tries to go first and then gets dismissed by him. He's annoyed and jealous, saying they should send Kofu to Savage, which I kind of like. I
Yeah.
can't really disagree, man. I
No,
don't really
neither
like
can
him.
I. And maybe that's the reason I don't like him is because it's like, just let Cisco have his fucking girl, man. But I don't know. Hawkman is, unfortunately, I have to say it, Hawkman's kind of an ass in this
Yeah.
episode.
Barry is rattled outside and recaps Cisco that he thinks a future version of him time jump, hence him seeing the double we saw earlier. Cisco doesn't want to talk about it due to even mentioning it what could cause timeline issues. Barry seems to respect the boundaries of time travel here more than later on, which I thought was kind of funny.
Yeah, we will see later on, come like next season, that conversation means fucking nothing.
Yeah. Cisco says they don't know why he time jumped, so the future is open-ended in terms of why he did it or if it'll even happen now. Kendra asks Kofu if they ever killed themselves to deny Savage's victory. I mean, that's fucking fair though. I mean,
It
like, hey,
is.
like
It
I'd be
is.
like, if
But
that's the
it
only way
just
out, I don't
it
know.
comes out of pocket in the episode. She's like, "Do we ever kill ourselves?" I'm like, "Whoa,
This
damn, that was
episode does
dark."
get this episode does get pretty dark
Oh
though,
yeah,
to
it
be
gets pretty
fair.
fucked up later on, but that was like the first inkling of it before like the real dark shit happens later. I was just like, "God dang."
Yeah. Kendra doesn't want anyone to die for her. He says then be the warrior she was meant to be and says, oh yeah, he says be the warrior meant to be, and then he does the come at me, bro. Like, come on.
Come at
And
me,
like,
bro. Yeah,
do people
that
still
was
say that? Is that something your
no.
generation says?
No, we don't say that anymore. Well, not like we say it jokingly, but we don't actually like I will do it sometimes when I'm playing like a game. I'll be like, "Come at me, pussy," but I don't say "come at me, bro."
I think we even said that kind of ironically, but yeah, he's trying to trigger her like other side basically. And so she can't land a punch and keeps trying. She yells and her wings emerge as she tackles him down, straddling him. I'm like, this moment was kind of wild. I
Oh,
was like, what are we doing here?
maybe this is like Age of Ultron where they just needed any excuse to make two characters look like they were gonna fuck all the time.
I mean, like, if it was like other shows or like some other like I don't know, like I've seen like The Boys too much, so like I've just seen characters just do that. So I'm like, well, maybe some of these people just need to
Yeah.
get laid. I don't know.
I mean, probably. We don't know what's going on in these people's lives.
Yeah, who knows? But the rage he tells her is the only way to find her hidden warrior side. Felicity interrupts their weirdness. They got power gauntlets for Barry, and Dig has a Betamax tape that has stuff about Savage
Fucking
on it.
Betamax.
This was even old for me, man. All I had growing up was like VHSs and DVDs.
Yeah,
Like
I had VHS too.
Betamax was too old for me.
I've just heard like my mom bring up Betamaxes, so I know it's old as fuck. So I was just laughing when that came up. I was like, a freaking Betamax? Why not like a DVD?
Yeah. Definitely. It's from a conspiracy theory group about Savage, dating back to the 70s. Also, the Pentagon had a heavily redacted file on him. They watched the tape and we were introduced to a guy named Dr. Aldous Boardman. He's a professor at St. Roque University from back in 75. He says Savage will be the death of the world and explains stuff we've already known. It also involves him being an Egyptian priest, but his long life is a result of an unearthly calamity. He says an object associated with the calamity should be able to undo its effects and kill him. He needs to be killed to save the Earth. Kendra says the staff is how they kill him. Uh, cut to CCPD. Barry ran the test on the hair sample, not knowing what it was for. Oliver gets emotional, realizing he's the father. He quickly brushes off what little emotion he showed and tells Barry not to tell anyone about this. Felicity shows up and ambushes Barry, and she noticed that he super sped the results into his pocket. He tries to brush it off, saying it had to do with Dark. She demands to see it despite Oliver's wishes. He relents and shows her the DNA test. And then cut to Samantha's house. William is playing with his flash toy on the front porch as Oliver arrives in their yard. She tells him to play inside as she stands to meet Oliver. He says he knows and asks why she didn't tell him. She tells him his mother told her not to. She offered $1 million to tell him she miscarried. Oliver doesn't believe her. She tells him to wait at the front of her house as he like looks at pictures of her and William. Oliver's sadness and overall emotional performance is like really good here. I thought that Stephen
Yeah.
Amell did a really good job here.
Yeah, he does a really good job in this episode.
A
For
lot of
those
subtle acting going on.
Yeah, for those autistic folk like myself in the audience, yes, that Flash action figure is a real figure. I looked it up.
I think I remember seeing these in stores at the time because I know we definitely discussed it last time. But
Yeah.
so she shows him the check from his mom. She never cashed. She didn't need the money to know she didn't want his mom or him near her son. She didn't want William to be like him,
Fair.
punching out paparazzi and getting young girls pregnant. He says he's changed. What's up?
Oh, I said fair,
Yeah.
honestly. I
Yeah,
don't know
true.
who would want their kid being like Oliver Queen.
Yeah. And then she goes like she knows he's changed with his mother dying and him running for mayor and Tommy dying, but she knows his life is just as crazy, which like also fair. He wants to get to know him, William, and get to know his father, like he's speaking in third person. She wants to keep him happy and doesn't want him to get sucked into Oliver's orbit. William can't know the truth, and she says neither can anyone else. He doesn't want to keep it from Felicity and says she'll have to keep it a secret. Like, basically, you have to keep it a secret if you want a relationship with the son. This is so unfair. So, like, we can briefly talk about this and then we'll get in later with the Oliver stuff. But, like, briefly, this is not fair. This is
No.
not a fair this is such a contrived thing just to create drama with that. And I'm like, I'm gonna like, and we'll definitely, I'm gonna actually save it because this next part coming up here, and like, this is
Okay.
a bigger thing, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say, just preemptively, we both think that that's not fair what she's asking,
Yeah, no.
basically.
It For me it gets worse like way later, like at the end of the episode I literally screamed at my fucking TV and I turned the episode off at that point. I was just like,
Mm,
I'm not finishing this shit. I
yeah, yeah.
can't.
Yeah, but we'll go ahead and get into this next scene. So Oliver arrives back at the farmhouse at night and he lies saying he had Barry run down a lead to like Felicity about an operative of Damien Dark being in Central City. She cuts the crap and shows him the DNA test and that she knows what Barry didn't when he handed that to her. She's mad that he lied to her, but she doesn't care that he has a kid. She can't believe it that like basically you didn't tell me and he needs a minute. His world just exploded. She gets accusatory again. She asks when he was planning on telling her and says he doesn't know. If you loved me, if you trusted me, telling me this wouldn't be such a burden. It would be a relief, but you don't trust me. You never will. And
Ooh.
now, how can I be with someone who doesn't trust me? She storms off. Barry comes into that midway when he walked outside on the porch. Barry asks if they're okay and what happened, and he says nothing and he's fine. Okay, this was bullshit.
Yeah, neither
That
of them were in the right here.
this whole thing, they're both written out of character, and also it's one of those things you know that they're gonna reset it, and so like they're both acting like at like an 11 basically
Yeah.
where because you know later on they're gonna mess with the timeline. It's kind of like how certain shows will have it like go we'll definitely see how far certain things will go, but like
Yeah.
with time resetting things where they'll like go like, oh, we can really play with the timeline here and make it like this
Well,
balloon up the drama
as an
basically.
example, can we bring up the other Flash thing that does that, that's similar to what happens later, or do you want
Oh,
me to keep
we're
that
gonna
until
wait.
later?
Yeah, we're gonna wait. We're gonna hold
Okay.
off on that.
Okay,
But
cool.
so he checks in with the team and makes sure the gauntlets are working. Savage doesn't know Kendra has full control of her abilities. She'll be their ace in the hole and attack him as Arrow does like cover fire. Barry runs in and grabs the staff. He doesn't want to risk any more lives and tells Thea, Diggle, and Laurel to sit this one out. Cut to the now suited up Hawks and Flash and Arrow as they march into Jurgens Industrial. The Hawks are handcuffed. Savage thinks he's getting them. This is clearly a trap. He gives Arrow and Flash the opportunity to leave before he kills the Hawks. Savage says it's wonderful to see his love again, and Kendra barks she'll never be his love, and he says he knows, and that's what makes the killing easier. So Savage is an immortal incel, basically, is what I said
Pretty
here.
much. Yeah, pretty much. Also, their costumes look fantastic.
They
I
look
love the
better
look
than
of
I remember.
Yeah, I also remember them looking god awful, but they both look sick here.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So he goes to stab her and Oliver blocks him. I pause this and man, you can clearly see Savage has an obvious stunt double with a wig that doesn't even match the actor's hairline. Like the hairline, like people can't see, but they like the dude has like the actual like Savage actor has kind of like a bit of a receding hairline. And
Yeah.
the Savage like stunt double has like just a normal wig where it's just like flat across, basically. Like there's no
Wow.
receding hairline at all. It's kind of
Wow.
funny.
Yeah, I didn't notice that, but I also did not really pause because I just wanted the fucking episode to end. Like, I'll get into this now. I'll because it doesn't really like relate to most of my
Okay,
problems. This episode felt way longer than it was to me personally. It's 44 minutes. I looked it up on IMDb because I was curious. It felt like I was watching an hour 25-minute long episode. And I think I told you that in DMs, but it felt so much longer than it actually was for me.
that's fair. Flash breaks the Hawk's cuffs as Arrow and Savage continue fighting. He blasts Barry back, and the staff is knocked from Savage's hand as the Hawks gear up. But it didn't work. Her wings didn't emerge. Carter is killed by Savage, and she runs to fight Savage, but like is immediately stabbed. He gets Kendra's life force and uses the staff on Savage, but he resists the blast. The gauntlets aren't working. Oliver assists and helps him hold the staff. Oliver tells him to go. The staff is killing them, but he refuses. Oliver says, "Run, Barry, run," which I thought was like kind of like a cool like hearing him. I don't know if he says that in the rest of the show, but like it was kind of
I
cool
don't
hearing
think
him say the
so.
catchphrase.
I don't remember him saying it in the other crossovers, but I don't really remember the other crossovers all that well.
Yeah,
But yeah,
we'll
it
definitely
was
keep an eye on the future.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's cool to hear a character that's not fucking Harrison Wells say "Run, Barry, run," or like I almost called him the other character. Who the fuck is John Wesley Shipp playing right now? I forget his
Henry.
character's name. Henry. Yes,
Yeah,
that's who. I almost called him the other guy. But when Henry says it too, it's pretty cool because the guy who mainly says it is Wells and Joe. So it's like, okay, we get to hear other people say it, and I love that running gag. It's hilarious.
definitely.
Running gag. No pun
Yeah.
intended. Didn't mean to do that.
But so the force of the staff knocks Flash back. Savage grabs the staff and makes a blast that disintegrates Oliver in a really well done shot. The blast grows, engulfing the building and the surrounding area as Barry super speeds away. He runs through the city as the blast chases him, destroying Central City. He yells, "Cut to the farmhouse." The blast disintegrates both teams. Barry runs and everything blurs as he sees him from earlier, completing the moment we saw earlier from the Twin Streaks. LOL, that's like, I made a little reference in here to there's an episode of the Flash 90s show called Twin
Okay.
Streaks where it's like
Okay.
two different, there's like a Flash clone that wears an all blue suit, basically.
I've seen a picture of that.
Yeah, the episode is okay. It's a lot of fun, but
Okay.
like it sounds way cooler than it actually. It's very goofy.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, I kind of I'm mixed about this particular scene because it's repeating something that we saw in what season one, like midway through that season. But
Oh,
it's also
you mean
the
the
where
time
he's
travel?
yeah, where he's like running and he looks at himself who's come from the future. Like I don't know. Like I felt
You're not
like there
going to
could have
say what
been
this really reminds us of? What Zack Snyder, that hack,
well, that
what he
too.
stole?
Mr. thinks he understands comic books, makes a whole ass Justice League movie, and then yeah, they
We know you were watching the CW,
yeah,
Zack Snyder.
no,
Come on.
well no, because if he was watching the show, he would have wrote the Flash better. That's a whole different
Why is it
conversation.
Flash snapping anyone's neck? I don't understand.
True, but he also does act more like I guess Barry in this show acts more like Barry Allen than or Wally West than Barry Allen. So maybe he was watching this show actually. But
No, he only watched Arrow. He's like, I like this Arrow guy. He kills his villains.
he's like, you know who that would work with?
Yeah.
Superman. It's like, oh God, no, pull the plug, cancel everything. No.
Yeah, stop.
Get Christopher Nolan. Well, that's why it fucking failed. Christopher Nolan was on it too.
Christopher Nolan actually didn't want him to do the neck snapping thing. He was uncomfortable with it. He was saying, he's like, I think this is too far. Like, he was like, he even had the instinct. He's like, I think this is too much.
You're telling me the guy that asked if Batman had to have a fucking utility belt had a problem with Superman killing people? That's a shock. That's actually surprising.
Well, I mean, like, say what you want, but like, he did understand Batman to an extent. But anyway,
Yeah, oof, that's a whole TISMO Talks episode I could do right there. I talked to Ben about it, but I don't have kind opinions on the Nolan trilogy.
yeah. So, present day Barry arrives in the warehouse, repeating the scene from earlier. We see Oliver and Malcolm ready to meet with Savage. We see the scene repeated with Savage from earlier, and Oliver asks if Barry's okay, seeing that he clearly has something on his mind. They arrive back at the farmhouse, and then Barry says the counterattack won't work. He explains to Oliver what happened. Oliver says this is good. They'll come up with a new plan. He says the reason they failed before was Arrow's head wasn't in the game and mentions the hair sample Oliver is planning on giving to him. He then tells him about him and Felicity basically breaking up and it's over the fact that he's someone's dad. But it was and this is my personal note, it was more so that he lied to her. It wasn't really like the whole dad angle, like they try to play it off. I'm like, no,
To
it
be
was more.
fair, Barry did come into like the middle of
He
that
didn't hear the
argument.
whole thing.
Yeah, he
Okay,
didn't have
I
the full context
that's
for it.
fair.
So he was just going based off of what he heard Felicity scream at Oliver about. He didn't come into the beginning of it.
That's fair. But so he goes over what went wrong, but Oliver is clearly still shaken from that news. He tells him everyone died, and he said that this time they won't. This time they'll do things differently. Oliver checks in on Cisco's gauntlet development. He can't tell him why he wants him to make sure they work. He wants Cisco to talk to Kendra because whatever Carter did didn't work. Cisco doesn't want to interfere with Carter and her ancient love thing. I like that Oliver tells him Kendra needs to accept who she really is, and the guy who could clearly help is the one that's clearly in love with her. Cisco doesn't know if they're at the L bomb stage yet, but he'll talk to her. I liked that little moment.
Yeah, my thought in that scene was, of course, Cisco's gonna bring her to that conclusion because he is better for Kendra than Carter is.
Yeah, yeah,
First
they
time you'll
haven't
ever
really
hear me
sold
say
us.
this, but fuck Hawkman. In this episode, fuck that guy.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, I agree. But so he interrupts Carter and Kendra's convo and stands up to him, which is nice. He called him He-Man, but he corrects him saying he's Hawkman and then leaves Cisco, like basically Cisco and her to talk. I like that. I like that little moment. It's like it's Hawkman. I
Yeah.
think that's the first time we actually hear him call himself Hawkman.
Yeah, and it felt weird in the moment, but it's also funny because if you look at He-Man and the original Hawkman design, like, of course, I've never seen He-Man, I've just seen pictures, but if you look at the way He-Man looks and the first original Hawkman drawing, they both have that little, like, thing going across their chest, like that little
The
harness.
little,
They look
yeah, the
very
harness.
similar.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. So he thinks she's resisting remembering because that's somebody else who loves Carter. She confirms ever since she sprouted wings, she's been remembering that life in Egypt, but hasn't told him because she doesn't want to be a reincarnated Egyptian warrior princess, which is an absurd sentence when you hear it kind of said out loud.
Yeah, especially like out of context like that, it's the strangest shit ever. But
Definitely.
also not at the same time because like at least for me like I'm so entrenched in the world of comics and
Oh yeah.
like all that stuff that I'm just like yeah, that's a normal thing people say.
Yeah. But Cisco tells her to close her eyes and let herself remember. Cue flashback as she remembers leaving her bed. She needs to leave to make another offering to Horus. Savage is standing at her dwellings and confronts Kofu on being there. He tells him that clergy is forbidden to lie with royalty. Kofu tells him to leave, but Savage says the penalty for what he did is death. He knocks Kofu to the ground and is about to assault Shaira. This was wild, man. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I couldn't believe this
Yeah,
actually.
that was some like killing joke level, what the fuck is going on here
They
type of
don't
stuff.
they don't ever go that far in Arrow like usually. And Arrow's their darkest show, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure. And they don't even in like Batwoman, at least the first season or so is pretty dark too. They
I
don't
haven't
even
seen
go
that.
that far with it. It's got its dark moments, but yeah, this was
I
kind
mean,
of
it's a
far.
it's a Batman adjacent character. Kate
Yeah.
Kane is so like I would kind of expect that, but yeah, that was fucking crazy. I was like, God damn, did Alan Moore write this episode? Like,
Yeah,
what the
Jesus.
hell?
Yeah.
I'm gonna
But
get shot for that in the comments. People were like, "How dare you criticize Alan Moore?"
you're not wrong. But
It's like, read the Killing Joke.
so Kofu tackles him and Savage is beating him, well, savagely as Shair grabs a knife.
Nice. I didn't even think of that. Nice.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, holy shit. But she stabs him in
Fuck.
the shoulder and he pulls the knife out and turns to her. Kofu is stabbed trying to stop him. Shayer rushes to his side. He kills them both. He says the Skyrocks have come to do their work as we cut to outside and see the meteors crashing into the Middle Kingdom. As the palace falls apart, Savage says his hatred will follow them from his lifetime to the next, and Shira begs for Horus's protection as Kofu says he'll wait eternity for her to come back to him. We see the staff's eyes glowing blue and the blood on the knife glow blue. The ceiling collapses open. Cut back to her opening her eyes, remembering. She tells Cisco she thinks she knows how to beat Savage. Cisco says Oliver was right about the gloves, and Kofu asks how she knows how to beat him. She says she remembers their first death, something he couldn't remember. The meteors have the same glow as the staff and knife. Egyptians used meteors in their craftsmanship, Felicity says. The meteors glow in proximity to each other. Cisco says two pieces of meteorite, like the nth metal, and that they're like he's like two pieces of meteorite are like the nth metal, and
Which
that
is the
they're
first time they actually mention nth metal in the Arrowverse.
that's true. And that they're the key to counteracting the staff. The sample of the meteorite is at the Keystone City Museum. Flash grabs it fast and is back in less than a second. Actually, like really like them just cutting that, like, just be like, let's not even spend any time on this. Let's just get
Yeah,
this
it's like
over with.
we got a guy who can vibrate through walls with apparently without tripping alarms.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was a great use of Barry as a character.
Yeah. So Cisco will coat the gauntlets with the meteorite. This time Oliver tells Team Arrow to suit up too. Cut to them arriving at Jurgens like earlier. This time Oliver breaks the Hawk's restraints as Hawkman charges him. He gets knocked back, but Oliver tells Kendra to attack now. Her wings emerge and she knocks him down as Team Arrow arrives in the van, pulling into the building. Savage blasts the van and it skids sideways as they emerge, drawing his fire. Cue general fighting as Team Arrow attacks. Barry grabs the staff and yells for the superheroes to stand clear as he blasts Savage with it. He resists its beam again. Oliver helps holding the staff, saying they're not leaving each other. They blast him together. The blast disintegrates Savage, and the staff vanishes from their hands. Laurel says she's having the strangest deja vu, and Oliver looks over to Flash, quipping she's not the only one. I kind of like this. Did you think that there
Yeah.
maybe would have been more to this scene? Because they kind of do like the scene again, and then they just disintegrate him. Like I expected maybe a little. It's not anticlimactic, but I maybe expected a little bit more to that scene.
Yeah, it kind of was anticlimactic for me. I'm like, seriously? That you all that for just this?
Yeah,
Like,
I'm like,
I
well, I guess it
expected
worked.
yeah, I expected them to like put up more of a fight, like at least a couple of them get seriously knocked on their ass by
Yeah.
Savage because he's super strong apparently. Um, and that doesn't really happen. They just kind of blast him and disintegrate him, and then that's the end of Savage?
Anyway,
Question
I just
mark.
started blasting them.
Oh my God. What the fuck, dude? Um, is that Danny DeVito?
Yeah, from always like not always, damn. Yeah, it's always sunny in Philadelphia where he's
Oh,
on
okay.
that talk show and he's like he's like, "Yeah, I have my pieces." It's like your pieces. He pulls out two like strong like pistols, like little small pistols that he's been hiding. He's like, "Yeah." And anyway, I just started blasting.
I need to watch this show. Oh,
So funny.
I think I've seen only the first episode and the clip of the trash man.
I'm the trash
I'm
man.
the trash
I
man.
just take the trash, I spread it all over the ring.
Oh my God.
So funny.
That guy
Um,
is the penguin, by the way. Or
yeah.
he was.
He still is. But cut to the Hawks and Cisco as well as Barry and Oliver as they walk down some steps in the city. They're back in Central City. He asks if they're the immortal ones now. And like the Savage, and will Savage be reincarnated? Um, like be the reincarnated one, saying that would suck. Kendra doesn't know. That was such like a weird thing. Be like, hey, are you guys like the reincarnated ones now, or the immortal ones, and then the other one's gonna come back reincarnated? Like talking about Savage. I'm like, no, why would you bring that up? Like, what's
Felt
wrong with
kinda,
you?
it also did feel kinda unnecessary because if you just watch Flash like I do, that doesn't fucking go anywhere. Like, I
It's
know,
almost like the audience, maybe they're like writing that for the audience's benefit to be like, well, how about this? Or maybe they're thinking the audience
yeah,
might be thinking that. I don't
yeah,
know.
there's gotta be, there probably is like one person watching thinking that, but I'm just like, that feels so unnecessary. Like, you didn't need to include that. You could just kind of infer that, yeah, Savage will be back. Like,
Yeah,
especially if you read comics, you're like, no one really dies in a comic book unless your name is Henry Allen, Ben Parker, Thomas Wayne, or Martha Wayne. Like, you're staying dead if you're those people. But unless you're, you know, like a superhero or Jason Todd, you'll be back.
definitely. So Kofu doesn't know either. They've never beat him before. They embrace. Cisco says, "Get a room." Poor guy. Oliver asks what they plan to do now that they have their whole lives ahead of them. Kendra wants to help people. They're planning on going to Saint Wilkin. Kendra asks for a private moment with her and Cisco. She has a complicated relationship with Kofu and is basically letting Cisco down easily. He gave her a tracker to use that will activate whenever she needs help, and Cisco will come find her. She gives him a
Basically, the signal watch like Jimmy Olsen has for Superman.
definitely. She gives him a farewell kiss for being himself. She leaves. Oliver congratulates Barry on keeping everyone alive. He calls them their guardian angel, and they reference him saying that in the pilot when Barry told him about his powers. I
Which is
like that
cool.
little, yeah, I
Yeah.
like that little callback. That was great.
Yeah, that was awesome. I love when they do stuff like that because, yeah, I haven't really, I don't know if I spoke on this. The pilot's probably my second favorite episode of Flash. Like, I love it so much. So anytime people call back to the pilot, I'm like, yes.
Nice. But Barry says they need to talk about him telling Felicity or not about William. He's worried that temporal backlash might happen in regards to Felicity and Oliver possibly breaking up over that. Barry says as someone who didn't get to grow up with his dad, he thinks the best thing is for Oliver to be a part of his son's life, which I thought was like a really great little moment, also good
Yeah,
character insight.
yeah, and yeah,
We're gonna definitely get into it. Just hold
this
off.
next scene, yeah, is where I lost my fucking mind.
Yeah, just like we'll definitely have a moment for this.
Oh yeah.
Or actually probably save it for like I'll tell you when we're gonna get into it.
Okay. All
But
right.
he thanks him and they have a cute moment where Oliver hugs him despite not liking hugs or being like a hugger. I really thought that was kind of great.
Yeah. Yeah, I always think it's funny because I saw a picture one time and I don't remember who, but somebody was telling me about this. For those that aren't in the know, in the comics, Barry and Oliver don't like each other. I've seen a panel of him screaming fascist at Green Arrow before. And so it's always funny when you like see the Flash and Arrow, for me anyway, when you see them hug in this show, because it's like, yeah, no, that wouldn't happen. Like maybe Barry could convince Hal to do it because they're the friends, but I don't think they could use Hal Jordan. I think Warner Brothers said no.
Well, I think in this also, and it's the whole thing of with this show is before they ever thought they'd get a Batman or a Superman in this, they were kind of the stand-ins for those characters in this, with like, Flash being more of a Superman type and then Oliver being more of a Batman type in this, like
Yeah,
them filling those roles.
yeah. And in a world where you don't have a Batman and Superman, that's a great way to do it. Like, look, I've been given this show or this particular episode some guff. I'm I like what they do with Barry in this show, like
Definitely.
in the CW Arrowverse for
Yeah.
sure.
But yeah. And then he says, besides if he didn't, he could just like do it without him knowing, like give him a hug basically. This weirdly reminds me of the Flash scene with Iris and Miller's Justice League like Unmade movie.
Oh my God, the vibrating scene.
No, no, not that one. The one
Oh,
where like she's like it's a really emotional moment where she's
oh,
like
where he
crying and
freezes time.
he's like talking to her. There's a future episode of The Flash that's like this though, where like it's Barry and he's like sweat like dripping down his face because he's having to go really like fast because like something's blowing up and he's having to slow down time and it's like you just see him desperate like
Oh
he's out
my
of
God,
options and he's looking at Iris and she can't hear him. He's like, Iris, I'm sorry and everything. Like he's like stressed. It's a later season episode. I remember it being so
dude.
good.
That's one of the most emotional. We should cover that, the Mortal script. That's even though it's been
Well,
done
that
to death.
episode is great. I can't
Yeah.
wait to get to that. But
Yeah, it sounds like fun, but yeah, no,
yeah.
I thought you were talking about the vibrating scene. I was like, oh dear God.
No, that reminds me of this All-Star always hold on to Smallville. They have like a Patreon thing. I think it's also on the Always Hold On to Flash thing where they covered the 90s show where they were talking about how like they said something about John Wesley Shipp's Flash being able to vibrate certain parts of his body or his tongue to do something. Like he actually does that in the show and then like one of the co-hosts jokes he's like it's like, police arrest this man. He had that power before he got struck by lightning, basically, which I thought was hilarious. So funny, man. I was dead.
That's great.
Yeah. Cut to Samantha's house as we see the tail end of her deal with him. He tells her he'll honor it and not even tell Felicity, different from before when he just left. She says that's a nice name and he's like, she's the best. And then, so like, you can go meet him, but he has to tell him, you're just like a friend of mom's, basically. I don't like that either. Like, it's weird, Samantha just being like, oh, like, that's a nice name. Like, I'm not gonna let you tell her, but that's a nice name and I'm happy for you. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, no, this is I'll let you and the audience know. Turn the TV off right there. I was like, nope, I'm not doing this. I'm not watching this.
Yeah. So William is playing in his room that's decked out almost entirely with Flash merch. He tells William he's actually met the Flash and he's got his like basically he got his attention when he said that. Like William all of a sudden just starts like looking at him, paying attention to him. He asks if he's cool, and I love this moment. Oliver says he's super cool and he's one of the best guys that he knows. And then like that was really nice.
Yeah.
He introduced himself to William. William offers to play action figures. Like, 'cause he's just talking to him and he's like, we want to play action figures. And he agrees, grabbing the Captain Cold figure. And Oliver says he'd love to come by once in a while and say hello. And then ask if that would be all right. William smiles and says that's Captain Cold and he's the bad guy. And then like it doesn't answer him, but just like, hey, that's a bad guy, basically saying like sure in his like own like kid way, basically.
Yeah.
And
Because
then
kids have short attention spans.
yeah, and then Oliver agrees and says the Flash needs to be really fast to catch him. William says he will. He's the fastest man alive and pops Oliver's hand and he acts like it hurt more than it really did, which I thought was like a cool like dad moment where he goes like ow like that, like he pulls
Yeah.
his hand back and everything. So cut back to Star City as Felicity and Oliver arrive back to their destroyed apartment. She asks if he's ready to tell her what he said he'd tell her. He deflects and says she can't like basically like I can't help you and be a good teammate if you don't tell me what's wrong is what she's saying and that she loves him and makes her want to be the best teammate ever. She says what had him acting so strange when they got to Central City and he said it doesn't matter, it's over. And then he's back there with her now and then they hold each other. All right, here's the time. Let's talk about this.
Bro doesn't fucking learn his lesson. He still doesn't tell Felicity what the fuck.
I know, and it's just for forced drama. And to be fair, if this was, I'm going because I used to come down on Felicity hard on this, and like in the past, I've done this with the whole like, oh, Felicity, it's none of her business. To be clear, and I'm only talking about this episode, I'm not talking about future stuff. But to be clear, when we see this, she's just more upset that she was like lied to,
Yeah.
like when asked about it, like if anything. And to be clear, for me personally, if it was me and Amanda, and I'm just speaking for my personal relationship, I would tell her, like flat out. I'm like, who's
Oh,
gonna know? Who's gonna know if you tell her? Like she keeps like secrets, like people's secret identities, like a secret and doesn't tell a soul. You really think that she can't hold on to that?
yeah. Like with me and my girlfriend, like if that was me, yeah, I'd tell her too. Like, what the hell? What? I like Oliver genuinely just pisses me off so much in this episode.
Yeah, because like other people's defense, like it's none of her business, and I'm like, he could at least say, "Hey,
It
this
is her
is
fucking business.
this is what's going on." Like now, if she got mad and like tried to like, because later on they kind of write her worse, and I think that some of this is that they write her out of character a little bit to manufacture drama, like how she acts later
Okay.
on. Like it's, I feel like it's one of those things too. The world is ending, time and place. She could
Yeah.
have kind of, I know it was for like drama, but she could have kind of been like, "I'm mad at you right now." But also, the whole world is going to blow up, so we're going to table this and we'll talk about it
Yeah.
later,
Yeah,
basically.
we got more important shit going on, but
Yeah.
they had to just create some drama because reasons.
And they do it at the disservice of they have to write them so out of character just to make that work. Because I don't even think Oliver at this point would necessarily do that. Like I think realistically he'd probably be like, "Hey, this is what's going on." Basically, like,
Yeah.
don't say anything.
Yeah, and this was I probably should have gone back and actually rewatched Arrow because this kind of fucked up my perception of Arrowverse Oliver Queen. I'm just like, I fucking hate this guy. He's an asshole. Like, yes, Oliver Queen in comics and animation, he's a douche, but he's not this insufferable of a human being.
He's a different character, to be fair,
Yeah,
in the
that
in the
that
comics.
guy that guy is his own character. He's not Batman with a bow and arrow, but
He started out like that, to be fair. The Arrow
yes,
Cave,
yes, the original comics, he
the
was more like
aeroplane.
Batman. Oh God, the arrow boat. Wasn't that a
No, the
thing?
aeroplane is hilarious because it's just like it sounds like airplane, which is so funny.
Yeah, and that is how British people say airplane sometimes. They say aeroplane, so it does work. But I swear to God, the arrow boat's the thing. Maybe I'm thinking of again Young
I
Justice
mean, you're
because
probably right.
they make a joke about it in that show where it Roy basically rescues someone and she's like, "What do you call this? The arrow boat?" And he's like, "I call it a rental."
Yeah, that's funny. So anyway, I'll finish this and then we'll get to our overall like end thoughts. But
All right.
so cut back to Savage's ashes in the Jurgens building. Malcolm repeats Savage's hateful mantra as he gathers his ashes in a cup and says, "You owe me one, buddy." Arrow end title with lightning going through the letters. So this was obviously to set up stuff like later, but like this seems so fucking out of character 'cause he's talking about the whole thing like, oh, I gotta protect my daughter, so you just not give a fuck anymore about like Thea. Like that was weird to
Yeah.
you, right?
Well, I didn't watch to that point. Like I said, I turned it off when he was talking to William because I'm like, bro didn't fucking learn his lesson. He's still not gonna tell Felicity. So I did not see that, but in hearing you describe that, little fucking weird.
Yeah, like I don't know. It's to set up a future storyline, but the whole like thing where I'm like, is this like later on? Because the first season of Legends hasn't happened yet, so I know like Vandal comes like Vandal is the antagonist of that first season.
Oh,
Yeah, I think I might have misquoted later when I said that Vandal showed up in the later one. I think it's actually another character maybe that's in
okay.
that later thing. I'd have to go back. It's been a minute since I've watched like but I definitely know that Vandal is like that's why this is called Legends, by the way, is because
Yeah,
it's
Legends
kind
of
of a
Today.
yeah, it's kind of a setup for the Legends of Tomorrow show, basically,
Yeah.
which I misremembered this. I thought that they set them up in this, but apparently I was wrong about that. Like I must be remembering something
I
else.
mean, I assumed it was because the Hawks show up in Legends at some point, and that's why it's called Legends of Today. That was my assumption. But then again, that's from a guy who's never fucking seen Legends of Tomorrow. So I don't know. I'll have to we'll have to watch it anyway, because there's a lot of crossover apparently between that and Flash, like just characters.
We'll watch a little bit. Like there, we got a lot on our plate. I'll kind of
Isn't
assess that whenever we get
Yeah,
closer.
isn't Wally like a full-blown member of the Legends at some point?
Yeah, again, we'll watch and assess if that's something we need to just because we got so many episodes and side things to go
Yeah.
over. That might just be like a flyover thing where we're just kind of like this is what's happening in this because like we
Oh
already do
yeah.
have a lot on our
Yeah, like maybe the episodes where Wally's not in, it's like, hey, this is briefly just kind of what he
or
was
just
doing with the
mention it
Legends.
off to
Yeah.
the side, maybe
Yeah,
be
it's
like
like,
we
hey,
watched
Wally
this.
was yeah, we watched this, Wally's here with the Legends, and then just don't
Yeah,
mention it
just
again until he
normal
shows up.
episode coverage because we got so
Yeah.
much. But
Oh my God, yeah.
anyway, we so overall, I think the first part was better than this. I do like certain aspects of it, definitely. I like the whole time travel element with like the whole like them disintegrating and him having to
Yeah.
go back and save them. I thought that was it was a really big deal at
I
the
think
time seeing
I think
this.
the Flash stuff in this is good, and that's it.
Yeah, the Arrow stuff is rough. This was during the time when they kind of briefly lost their way a little bit and they were trying to get back. Like earlier on, I was talking to it with Will, like in the Flashback season one, where I was talking about the but Oliver thing, and like I
Yeah,
haven't gone
I
back
heard
and
that episode.
watched, and I haven't gone back and watched that era of Felicity, but I do know that like they wrote her like it sometimes they do this with like girl characters in shows where like they'll write them out of character basically just to manufacture like forced drama and I don't like that. I kind of
No.
like they fix it later, but like definitely it's one of those things where it's not just her that's out of character, it's Oliver that's out of character in this. Like I don't buy that he would just like be like, yeah, I'm not gonna listen to like one of the greatest guys I know and just completely breeze over. Like you don't know what you're fucking talking about, Barry. Like now that you saw us break up or anything.
Yeah, the guy who is literally a fucking scientist doesn't know what he's talking about. Okay,
And
Oliver, Mr.
saw
Smart
it
Guy.
and like saw it in another reality and like you'll believe him that you guys died in the other reality, but when he gives you advice about your relationship, you won't listen to that.
Yeah, Oliver needs to fix his shit.
Oliver, you just sit down, all right?
Oliver, you need to sit your $5 ass down before I make some change.
But yeah, so overall, I think that I'd probably give this, what did we give the last one? Like 3.5 basically
Yeah,
out of
basically
five?
our average rating, 3.5.
I'd give this like maybe 2.5 out of five lightning
Oh,
bolts. That
that's
half is
generous.
that half is just for certain scenes with him and Barry that I thought were good. And then like also that the Flash stuff with like the time travel and some of
Yeah,
the visuals they have in this are really good. But overall, like it wasn't as strong as I definitely remember it being. And then you give your rating and then we'll do heart, humor, and spectacle.
it's a straight 1.5 for me. I
Okay. All
like I
right.
said, like I told you in DMs, this is probably my lowest rated episode we've done so far,
No, I
but
respect it because I
dude,
thought I might sway you or something, but hey,
no.
like, no, I respect it. I respect like you sticking to your guns on this.
No, yeah, I was so bored watching this episode. It felt like a chore to get through. That's why, for a little peek behind the curtain again, I watched, and I told you this, Alex, but I'll let the audience know. I watched the next Flash episode on our like list.
Hmm.
It was so much more enjoyable. Like I was like, okay, I gotta get this out of my mouth, just like because I was having kind of a day, so I was just
Yeah.
like, okay, maybe it's just because of my mood. Watched Flash, and I was like, what the hell happened? This is so much more enjoyable for me. But yeah, like I said, I only really liked the Flash stuff from this, and there are certain other problems I have with it, like Laurel. What's her fucking face? Is it Laurel?
Laurel.
Yeah, she says one line. None of the rest of them really do anything until the end of the episode. It's like, okay, then why the hell else are they here? Like
So all the
I
actors could get paid.
I mean, yeah, like I get it, and like it's Arrow, so you kind of have to have like everybody, but at the same time, it's like, why the fuck are they even here if each of them combined has like 5 minutes of screen time?
That's fair. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I did not like this episode very much.
I hear you. But for my heart, humor, and spectacle, I guess my heart would just be like I'm trying to like I honestly, you know what? The scene with like the character growth of Oliver growing enough to like hug Barry basically, and just that sweet moment between them. I thought that was like really
That could,
great.
yeah, that could qualify. This is not how I think of it by any means, audience, but that could be both heart and humor because it's funny, but it also shows like character growth for Ollie, and he's for once in this episode not being a complete dick.
Well, the humor for me would be the stuff like the quipping back and forth about like why didn't we use like Star Labs, like that whole part from earlier where it's just like yeah, revolving door and everything. I thought that was really good. And then
That was funny, yeah.
the spectacle has to be that scene where like you just see all of them disintegrate and
Oh,
everything. Like that was so
yeah.
well done.
Yeah, like that's my spectacle too. I think my heart is um Kendra, I almost called her Shaira.
Yeah, either
Kendra and
or.
Cisco. I mean, yeah, true, but Kendra and Cisco at the end, where he gives her the tracker and he's like, "I'll be there if just press this. I'll be there if you need me." That was like really, really sweet, but also kind of pissed me off because I'm like, I like Kendra and Cisco. Why?
He gets
But
the he gets that other character later though, the
oh,
bounty
yeah, yeah.
hunter.
I think I've seen bits and pieces of that actually, but
Yeah, we get to it.
yeah, my humor. Probably I'll just go the hug between Barry and all. Or no, 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 no. The line at the beginning where Barry's like, "Well, it's kind of hard navigating through the ass end of nowhere." Like that phrase always makes me laugh. So that's my humor. And yeah, we both have the same for spectacle. It's the big time travel disintegration Zack Snyder what the fuck moment.
I call it what it originally is, the Arrowverse one. Like Zack Snyder ripped
Yeah.
this shit off.
No, that's why I said Zack Snyder what the fuck is because
Oh
he just
yeah.
blatantly stole it.
We thought it was like at the time, remember because I forgot this, and then I think actually the Always On to Arrow guys pointed this out. I'm like, holy shit, they're right because they were saying like, hey, hold on, like this was done somewhere else before, and I'm like, props. Also, that's the reason I think why I chose like because we had to make a decision which episode the Always On to Arrow guys were gonna come on. I'm like, I'll have them come on this episode because one, like it's a Flash related thing, and they reviewed both, but I'm like, have them come on the actual like proper like episode thing instead of one of the specials again.
Yeah, because we had him on for Vixen last time, which had little to do with the Flash.
Yeah, but yeah, so that's kind of why, and honestly with how this episode went, I'm kind of glad that we chose that one because that one was a lot more fun
Oh,
to
100%.
record. But yeah,
Yeah,
definitely,
and it's a lot. That episode is probably one of the like not that none of these episodes are fun, but that's one of the funnest ones that we've done so far.
definitely. But so anyway, all that being said, you want to do your plugs, I'll do my plugs, and then we'll get out of here.
Sure, yeah. So, of course, I'm Brady. You guys know you can find me on here, Flashbacks, a Flash Rewatch podcast. You can also catch me on my podcast, TISMO Talks, a comic book podcast. I'm actually, after we hop off this, about to finally do episode 3 of the Spectacular Spider-Man
Nice.
after, like, what, like 6, 7 months of not doing a TISMO Talks episode. I also, in the chamber, have a Superman review of the 2025 movie. So I'm gonna put that up. It's the only video episode for right now. I don't think Tismo Talks is gonna be a video podcast. Because I like audio only podcasts. There's something like novel about that because everybody does video podcasts now. So Tismo Talks is probably gonna remain audio only for the foreseeable future. If you want to listen to it, you can catch it on YouTube and Spotify. Again, the Superman review is the only one that's going to have actual video of me sitting in this very setup just talking about the movie. Um, and then if you want to watch me play some video games, you can go over to my channel, Zurd Games, Zurdd Games. I play superhero games, comic book games, and I talk over them. I was literally just editing the next episode of my Young Justice Legacy playthrough, so that will be up My next video is going up the 18th of September, so that will be the week after that on that Thursday at 3:30 Mountain Time. Convert that to whatever time zone you live in. And also, I'm gonna grab it here just so I have it, even though we're not on uh, video right now. I have a Lego animation channel. It's called Choco Milk,
He's holding up a
CHOOMIL.
Lego. He's
Yeah, I
holding up
have
a
a
Lego Superman figure,
yeah, I
by
got
the
a
way, guys.
Lego Superman. That yeah, I forgot we weren't doing video anymore for a second, but yeah, so I have a animation and movie channel, Chaku Milk, CHOCCOOMILKK. That's where I upload like short films I made in high school, an actual movie that I've been working on. It's still in script form because I am lazy as fuck with that, but I'm also trying to work on a sitcom, but that's also kind of eh. But the main thing is so is a stop motion animated fan film called Lego Superman Invasion. Coincidentally enough, also features Hawkman as the secondary hero, so that's fun. I've been animating more of that throughout the week. Don't ask me when it will be out because I have no fucking idea. I am super slow at animating. Um, and it, for reference as well, it's about a 45-page script, so it's gonna be somewhere close to the hour mark with like credits and the opening and all that stuff. So yeah, when it does come out, or when I'm gonna release like a little sizzle reel trailer thing soon, so you can catch it on that channel. Um, and on that channel is a playlist called Things I've Voice Acted in. You can find all my voice acting work for Minnow Films and the Bat Feed with the Arkham tapes, as well as Newverse Creative with their projects. Um, there's a video on YouTube called You're My Hero Spider-Man. It's a storyboard reel of a cartoon Mainframe Entertainment's Spider-Man animated series that was going to be based on the Ultimate Comics before it became the new animated series. Um, they canceled that series, but they put up the story reel for the pilot. I voice Harry Osborn in that. I'm not in there very long, but you want to check your boy out. I'm into that. I'm also on Epic Brick Productions channel, voicing Green Lantern Yalan Gur in Lego Superman Light of Hope. I got a real thing for Legos, can't you tell? Um,
Hmm.
and I think that is it for my plugs.
Gotcha. So briefly, before I get into my plugs, last time I mentioned my Captain Planet Newverse thing I'm working on, which is like a what if
Yeah,
Captain Planet movie pitch. And so I said the wrong character name for who the villain was that had like the rings. It's not Lita. I said the main girl. It's Dr. Blight who is making Captain Pollution and that. So like really quick,
Dr.
um
Light. Isn't that a DC character?
Blight with a B.
Oh,
Yeah. And so like in that really quick, it's gonna kind of be like the Captain Planet you remember a bit, but through like kind of a Power Rangers like from like the earlier like the
the
2010s basically.
2017 movie, my
That kind of
favorite
vibe
movie.
basically, where it's like it's normal Planeteers opens up like that, and then like Mati gets sick, passes away, they break up because of it, and then they have to find like a replacement in the future because, unbeknownst to them, Dr. Blight, who like in the past they arrested all of like the evil bad guys basically. She's been working with the government and on the side has made like a like part like a work prison thing. But
Yeah,
on the side is made like Captain Pollution. Wheeler's like the main focus character and gets attacked by Captain Pollution and works to like bring them all back together. There's gonna be a moment in it where she like the parallax thing has Dr. Blight has all of like the ring copies because she copies all the rings and she's gonna be having them like on her hand as like doing all these different combinations and attacking the
nice.
Planeteers like as like a cool moment. But yeah, like I'm definitely looking forward to doing that. And there's definitely some deeper mythology stuff. I'm also working on a Smallville thing called Smallville Flood that adapts the Lori Lemaris like mermaid romance story between Clark and her.
Oh,
through like a
cool.
Smallville lens. Definitely
I
look
find
forward to
that
that.
I find that hilarious. We're both doing a Superman adjacent thing for Newverse. I just can't talk about mine because he hasn't announced it yet.
Yeah. But and then obviously you guys can find me on here, Flashbacks, a Flash Rewatch podcast, where we review every episode of the CW Flash, in addition to just other Flash related things as they come up. And then also I have Night of the Batman, where me and my wife, or just sometimes other guests, review everything Batman related. And also, speaking of Batman, I don't know if we'll make an episode out of this, but I am going to see Batman 89 in like one of these old style movie theaters tomorrow with my wife. So that should be fun. It's not my favorite.
Nice.
Yeah, Batman Forever is my favorite. And I do like Batman Returns a little bit more than 89. But like even to see it in an old style movie theater, like that's kind of the appeal. I'm like, yeah, why not?
Yeah. You know what? I'm surprised in terms of like the first in an actual series because my favorite Batman movie ever is The Batman. I do like Forever. I do like the 66 movie and Batman and Robin. Won't lie to you. Fucking horrible as Batman and Robin is, I love it. But
Yeah.
I think in terms of like the first one out of a series, Begins is my favorite. I
Okay.
am so surprised they have not re-released it in theaters because not to make anybody listening to this feel old, that movie came out 20 years ago. So I I I half expected them to just be like, "Hey, we're re-releasing Batman Begins in theaters for a limited time." I would so go watch that because I was like a year old when that movie was in theater. But
Oh man.
I know, I
But
know.
yeah,
But yeah, no, I'm surprised they haven't done that, but when they do, I will definitely go watch it in the theater. Get the
definitely.
experience I never got to have.
Yeah, definitely. But and then also we have What Mean that will come back whenever I have time. That's a general like movie, TV, whatever we feel like talking about on that one. And then we have Tangential Exchange, me and my friend Trip just kind of hang out, make each other laugh and drink. And then that's basically it. So anyway, all
Don't
that
forget
being
about your other show with Ben.
that's right. Wow. Superhero stuff you
How
should
did
know.
I
I'm gonna
remember
I'm
that?
gonna totally edit that part out and act like I remembered that. So
How did
anyway,
I not? How did I remember that and you didn't? You're
it
the
was
fucking
a
co-host of the show.
it's been a long day. But anyway, so you can also find me on superhero stuff you should know. A superhero like we talk about like, unproduced scripts, that sort of thing. Definitely check that out with me and Ben.
Yeah,
And
please do. It's a great podcast. I've talked to Ben. I might come on there at some point to talk about some stuff.
definitely. So, all that being said, we're gonna try to sync this up as close as we can. I'm kind of tired. We're just gonna do the normal
Yeah,
soulless thing we normally do. So, anyway,
sounds
you
good to
ready?
me. Yeah.
One, two,
Two,
three.
three.
We
We
will
will see
see
you
you
in the
in the
Speed
Speed
Force.
Force.